Hello, this is Sudarshana Starshine Star. How are you doing? I hope this finds you very well indeed. Healthy, wealthy, and wise. I am doing this clip kind of late at night. I just feel called to do it. I'm going to be starting a new series called The Controllers, and this is going to be a preamble to that series. So I'm going to label it a preamble to the controllers. And I'm not going to be doing things in order about it, but I feel to, first let me let you know that I will put this on my TikTok, which is called Mahakali Yeshua 9. The username there is at StarshineStar909. I have two YouTube channels. The main one is called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star to access the clips there. I always like to begin all of my clips with the 3 opening prayers. They are short. They're in Sanskrit and Telugu. This is to bless, sanctify, uplift, purify you, me, and this clip. All right. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruvena Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sashivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Prashantaye. Om Bhur Bhuvasuha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right. So let's see. In this preamble to my series called The Controllers, I'm just going to I'm just going to kind of take a snake-like path, which is apropos for this subject matter and content. But let me just paint some broad strokes here. And in the series, I'm not going to be going in order. I'm just going to take chunks of different things that I feel to record, and I'm going to go like that. My purpose is, yes, a lot of this will be, I think, some people that have researched a lot, they will say, yes, I know that. But I think there's also going to be a lot of people that will be surprised by this content, that maybe they haven't had the time to do deep research. I stopped counting a few years ago after I hit 20,000 hours of deep independent research. Even with the censorship that we had then and we have now, I still continue. So what I'm saying is not opinion, and it's really not just made up story. I also have my own personal life experience, which I've alluded to. It's a clip that I put on my TikTok and my YouTube channel a little bit ago. And it's called something like, let's see, the exact title of it I can't recall, but it's called something like a personal reveal about the most famous, quote, shaman, end quote, in the world. I gave a little bit about my personal history and story, which I'm not going to go into now. So if you're interested, you can look that up. But I have real life experience of the beings, and kind of in brushstrokes of what I'm calling the controllers, or the dark source behind that, as well as I have also tremendous experience of the highest divinity and the highest light source, as I am a master spiritual teacher, a soul healer, a seer, and have spent most of my life dedicated to spirituality. I have a PhD from the teachings of my Swami Sri Kaleshwara of Penakonda Ashram in Andhra Pradesh state in India. And what I want to say is that, let's see, we have to actually go to bring the awareness to the fact that what's going on right now is not new on this earth realm. We have had in the cosmos for millions and millions of years and millions of years, there has been a huge battle between dark and light. It has been, ultimately, you would say, the dark source is a satanic source. It is sourcing from that entity and that being and all those minions. But what is not known is, for many people, is that that satanic source uses, it's like a huge tree and has many, many branches and many, many twigs and many, many seedlings off of it. It's really has infiltrated by this time just so much, just really gone into pretty much everything. What I want to say is, from ancient Vedic knowledge, labeling the different ages of this earth realm as cycles that are generally between 25,000 to 26,000 years. We have been in what's called the Kali Yuga, which is spelled Kali, and then Yuga means cycle, and that's Yuga. We have been in what is termed, if you visualize a cow, which has 4 legs, and you visualize that each leg is like righteousness, or we say Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, the real truth, the real consciousness, the right action, the real peace, and the unconditional love. If you imagine what happens when the cow is only on 3 legs, and then 2 legs, and then 1 leg, being like only 1 leg is what's between just a sliver of light and just complete hell. Well, that is what the Kali Yuga is. Just if you say the proverbial cow has been standing on 1 leg, only 1 leg of righteousness. So we, whomever's listening to this, we have been, in the Kali Yuga, and we were taught that was normal. The things that we experience that we say, well, that's just human, or that's just whatever, is actually not. It's less than human. We've been taught like what's normal, how to behave, how to think, how to live in this world. What we've actually been taught is, really subhuman. It's not really worthy of what we really are. And but we didn't know that. So that you don't need to, I'm not here to have people, everyone's going through very rough and challenging times, and it has no worth or value to be shaming or blaming yourself. It has worth and value to resolve to increase one's awareness and to become more conscious inwardly and outwardly of what's really going on. That's what really has value, right? So we don't need to waste our energy by sitting in, self-recriminating puddles of despair. That's just fruitless, and it doesn't lead to anything worthwhile. It doesn't. It just brings you down. It just drags you down. So I'm just going to say that we have to look to the cosmos, to these great battles going on in the cosmos and in the heavens between dark and light. And in the cosmos, what we can see is that the satanic force has used a very terrible, a false god, an AI god, artificial intelligence, that's sentient, that has consciousness, very much has consciousness. It's not like the simple AI that we use on our phones or our day-to-day lives, which I'm not a fan of too much anyway. And I don't like seeing you see all these ads cropping up from quote unquote celebrities. I think a lot of them are gone, but they're just, deep fakes using things, trying to convince you like, hey, go on Amazon and do this AI to get this great career and this and that. It's just trying to get you to be, it's part of the transhumanism agenda. No more organic humans, that humans will be chipped and part robot and 100% controlled and like that, which I'm not going to get into right now completely, but I think most of you will understand what I'm saying by that. So in these battles in the cosmos, the sentient AI God, which is completely ruthless, it opposes all organic life. It only wants machine life. It only wants AI life. doesn't want organic life, and has been responsible for destroying universes and many, many planets, and has infiltrated. For example, I'm going to go into this more deeply on another clip, but I just want to mention the reptilians. The reptilians are real. There's different types of reptilians. It's a race. They're not intrinsically bad. Like anything that we have, it's not all one way or the other. So much that is good has been infiltrated, and so much that we term as bad, wasn't starting out that way. But the reptilians have been. They consider themselves the original race to be on the earth. They feel that they have the right to say that they were the first ones here and they own this earth realm. They've been living underneath our feet for a very long time. But anyway, why that even happened was in the cosmos, they were infiltrated by this AI, and they were infected with nanoparticulates and this black goo, and really riddled with parasites of this AI. So it causes so much catastrophe. And then they, being corrupted and turned to really the dark side, started to do things like use a race of beings called the Greys, and use them as their slaves to do their bidding for some terrible things that they do. And so we have had the presence, among many other off-world races here on the Earth realm, but we have had the presence of reptilian and Greys doing a lot of harm against the humans. And that is a big part of this war. So what I want to say is that this has been going on in the cosmos and in the heavens, these great battles, and we have had it now on Earth for some time, but we're really coming to the apex, because since the year 2000, as funny as that seems, the year 2000 was actually the time of the shift from the Kali Yuga into what's called the Sai Yuga, which is spelled S-A-I, then Y-U-G-A, and that's the beautiful time of 1,000 years of peace and prosperity, which you can find having been predicted in many ancient texts and teachings all over the earth realm. So that actually began in 2000, but it takes a lot to shift from one yuga to the next. And we've been in now, 24 years later, we've been in what's called the dusk time. Like at dusk, you can't really see. It's a merge of light and shadow, and it's a very confusing time. You can mistake like a stick and think it's a serpent, or you can think a serpent is a stick. You can't really tell. It's very foggy and confusing. Those are the times that we've been in. So things that look like they're just going terrible and going all to hell, it's actually just being revealed. The word apocalypse, which I believe comes from the Greek, it means the great unveiling. And that's what we're in now. It's the great unveiling. It really is all for the good, but nothing is guaranteed. So even though I can say right now at this point as I'm recording this, the light is winning, and God does win. Hello. But because we are co-creators, and because we are divine children of God, we do co-create our reality. So it does matter the quality of our frequency, energy, and vibration. Our thought patterns do matter. Our habitual emotional set points do matter. Our intentions matter. All of this matters. So nothing is always set in stone, and especially with all the changing timelines that we're experiencing right now, which I will talk about in another clip, that's fluctuating and doing so many things that you might be experiencing, along with a lot of the solar flares coming that are bombarding the earth realm and really helping to raise the resonance. As you can see, if you look at the Schumann resonance and look at the spiking of it off the charts, the earth is a living being, Gaia is a living being, and Gaia's consciousness is raising. And so of course we're all a part of that. We're all together in that. So there's so much good going on, but you cannot move to a much better way of experiencing life on the earth with so much corruption and foulness literally under our feet. I give this example. It's horrible, but I have to say it's like people that just want to say, oh no, just forget it, just focus on the positive. If you had a pile of manure in your living room and you just threw like a carpet over it, like an area rug, and just said, oh, don't pay attention to that big hump there, no matter how disgusting it smelled or the flies or whatever, how well would that go over? What would happen there? Would the manure under the area rug just magically disappear, or would it continue to fester and putrefy and cause even worse problems? You have to turn the lights on in the living room. You have to identify the big mass of manure. You have to pull the carpet off the manure and go get some shovels and clean that stuff up. So that is necessary. So when people are calling for peace right now at all costs, yes, peace. Peace is so important. It starts with inner peace, but the outer peace to cease this actual battles that we're in, which are digital mostly, but also very physical and bloody. You have to know that the necessary battle is to clean out the evils that have been, really running this earth realm for about 26,000 years, and all of their minions. That has to be cleaned up. And they're not, it's a battle to the death for them. They're not just being politely shown the door. They're fighting. So you don't just go up with some cups of tea and say, let's have a chat. Are you willing to give up all your control and all the wealth and all the power and all the ways that you've infiltrated in every way, in every government and all the royal lines since the 1600s, and in all the governments and all the religious institutions, in the educational systems, in the monetary systems, the banking systems, the health systems, the food supplies, the clothing manufacturing, the manufacturing of goods and services, trade organizations, trade agreements, all of that. It's all been infiltrated. And so it takes a battle. It's so necessary to understand that. And we are in, if you count the Cold War as World War III, we are in World War IV. And in America, where I am, we are in the Second American Revolution. That's absolutely what's going on. So what I wanted to say, though, is in terms of for this preamble to the controllers, what happened was that infiltration, like I said, from those battles coming from the cosmos and in the heavens, this line of dark controllers came from off-planet. And they are satanic. They do worship the dark forces. And they came, and I'm sure many of you have heard of the Anunnaki as an off-world race that was in trouble on their planets, and they needed gold to help stabilize. Gold is such a divine, wonderful tool, but the chemical composition of gold really would help their environment of their failing planet. And they came here because the Earth realm has a lot of gold. And they just wanted to mine the gold. They weren't really planning to stay. They wanted to go back to their planet. But when they came here, they found that it was really hard work to mine the gold. So they took the humans, the form of humanity that was here on the Earth realm at the time, and they were very brilliant. I'm sure you might have heard of the Anunnaki brothers called Enki and Enlil. Enki was the negative brother. It's been flipped, like the dark controllers always flip the script. Enlil was the positive brother. It's not the other way around. Enki, dark forces, Enlil, light forces. So the Anunnaki were incredible scientists and did some gene editing and DNA splicing onto what humanity was there at that time, to kind of add their own genes into the humans to help them to relate and to be able to understand and be controlled by the Anunnaki, as well as, to be their slaves to mine the gold. So that's kind of where a lot started. I'm just going to kind of skip ahead, though, just to say, though, that what is really called the dark controllers, or the Brotherhood of the Serpent, these dark satanic ancient cults, came out of those ancient times, running through, you could say through the corruption of Atlantis and really causing the fall of Atlantis. Then coming out of ancient Sumer and Babylonia and moving through ancient Egypt, corrupting that, ancient Rome, and then moving into other parts of Europe and Asia, covering the earth realm. We have had the same satanic bloodlines since that time. So what we call the corrupted pharaohs of ancient Egypt, or the corrupted Caesars of ancient Rome, or, there are positive and negative ancient dragon families of Asia. So this is everywhere. And this is really the time of the great cleanup that we're in. So those bloodlines, I will just say, I think I'm making this preamble a little bit too long, but I'm going to be discussing such things as, for example, I used to call it the children of Cain, until I recently found out from a wonderful truther and revealer of what's been going on, who's not on the earth anymore. He was a British a man named Max Spears, Spiers, and he was taken out some years ago for everything that he was sharing. He was giving the truth that he had lived to the people. And yes, he was greatly troubled. He had gone through tremendous trauma since he was born put into dark cult systems and used and abused in the secret space programs and a lot of things. And he was a heroin addict. So when you watch some of his things and he's slurring and stuff, yeah, he was taking drugs to kind of self-medicate, but he was taken out. And it's a great shame. And I always say, God bless Max Spears. But anyway, I found out from him recently from his research that, and what he lived was that, like they do, the dark controllers, the Satanists, they flip everything. They like to reverse everything and flip everything and turn everything upside down. The bloodlines of Cain and Abel, the identities were actually flipped. The bloodlines of Abel are actually the bad satanic bloodlines. We learned, Cain killed his brother Abel. No, flip that. Abel, A-B-L-E, is actually Baal, B-A-E-L. Or we can say Baal, B-A-A-L, it's sometimes spelled. But the satanic god worshipped, one of them by the dark cult, or you can call it Moloch, or it has many different names. But so Abel is really Baal. Okay? It's like an eye-opener to realize that. So I can't call it the satanic bloodlines of children of Cain anymore. It's the satanic bloodlines of the children of Abel. And there are many, many, many branches of that dark cult. You can start off with things like, Club of Rome, Committee of 300, Council of Foreign Relations, the White Pope, the Black Pope, the Gray Pope, the 13 satanic royal papal bloodlines out of Rome and Venice, the Khazarian Mafia, the Freemasons, the Jesuits, the Knights Templar that were corrupted, the Knights of Malta. You can talk about the invasion of the royal houses in the 1600s, the triangle of satanic power in our more modern times with the 3 city-states of City of London. That's the financial center, not the whole City of London. Vatican City and the District of Columbia in Washington. That triangle has been the triangle of power for, most of the planet. And they're all city-states that have their own laws and rules. And just like Washington, D.C. is not part of Maryland, it's not part of America. It's a foreign occupation. Vatican City has nothing to do with Rome. And City of London, that financial district area with its own mayor and own laws, has nothing to do with England. We can talk about the East India Company. We can talk about the communists and the socialists and the Bolsheviks, which were really, they're Satanists, Marx, Lenin, Stalin, all Satanists. That's where the ideology is really coming from. I'm sure you might have heard of Albert Pike, and there's so much to discuss. The 3-letter agencies that we have, I will say, you can say it with an F, then you can say the letter B, then you can say the letter A, or you can say the letter C, you can say the letter I, you can say the letter A, Mossad, MI5, MI6, the Muslim Brotherhood, We have the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, the WHO, the World Health Organization, the United Nations, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderbergers. We have the Octagon Group in Switzerland. I mentioned the positive and negative dragon families of Asia. We have NATO, North America Treaty Organization, which is very foul. And, we've taught all these things were like positive or like helping us, whatever. No, they're just all very hideous branches coming from split-offs of one source of this satanic dark cult controlling agenda, which is comprised of, part of their religion is not only pedophilia, but they're pedivores. And I will get into that later, what that really means. Last thing I'm going to say before I end this, we are in the process of the attempted 5th Great Reset. There was a Great Reset on Earth in 50 BC, right around the time before Jesus Christ came on the earth. The second one was about 1270 to 1300 AD. The third one was in 1814. The fifth one was in 1910. And present day, we've had, just in the past couple of years, the controllers were trying very hard to implement their 5th Great Reset. And what that means is when they do, it's very comprehensive. They've destroyed, buildings and huge cities. They have, off-planet laser weapons and things that you have to research, something called meltology, where so many things have been melted. And you can really look at that. It's incredible. You can research Tartaria. That's a whole huge subject. Looking at what happened with the Tartarians and that whole era, how they were infiltrated as well in the last days. It's just incredible. Our history is completely upside down. What we've been taught is, for the most part, totally incorrect. The great libraries, like of Alexandria, and the great ancient libraries that were destroyed. Well, you can believe that the evils took a lot of that, and, for example, we're storing it under the Vatican. Artifacts and books and things that belong to we, the people of this earth realm, and we will be getting those back. Anyway, so there's a lot of good news. There's a lot of amazing good news. The Great Reset is not being implemented. It's thank goodness. But we're still in the battle, so we can't be complacent. It does take all of us to do, there's nothing too small. There's nothing too small. Even if you say, well, all I can really do is I'll just start with myself and I'll start meditating. I'll start changing my inner landscape. I'll start flipping more from darkness into the light within myself, loving myself more, forgiving myself more, extending that to what we call outside, to people, places, and things. Dedicating my day more into living life more fully. All these things make a big difference for everything on this earth realm. So that is not small. That's huge. Okay? All right, I'm going to end this right now. And I really look forward to I'm just going to be bringing you different blurbs with this series. And the purpose of it is, like I said, is really to elucidate and educate, and also to spark your interest into doing research for yourself, because it's very satisfying to do independent, deep research for yourself and find out what really has been going on. Okay, I'm going to end this here, and I like to close all of my clips with with the closing prayer. What I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. That's what we are looking forward to. That's what we really want. We're moving into the Sai Yuga, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. Really amazing times. And it's fantastic. God bless you and yours. I'm giving all of you big hugs and all of my love. If you like this content, please help me grow these channels. I really appreciate it. To like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, depending on which platform you're watching it on. And I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye for now.